All right. Okay, cool. That was fun. So thanks to Monero and Fluffy Pony for that bullshit. Next up with some more bullshit is going to be Pirate. We got a pirate. Anthony Timoneri is going to come up and talk about the power of your privates. Fire private!
Hello, everybody. A lot of you know me from the last time I was here. I told you about my life. My name's Angelo Timoneri. I'm from Pirate Chain. And last time I spoke to you about my life a little bit. You could go back to the last Philly John and take a look at that, and you'll see I was from the streets, and Bitcoin helped raise me out of the streets, and ever since then, I've only looked at privacy solutions. It's the only thing that's ever really intrigued me is privacy solutions, right? So you got I2P, you got Tor, you got all these great technologies out there. But what we're here today to talk about is your privacy. And it's very relative to the title. So the title is very relative to what I want to talk to you about. Your privates, everybody thinks of the same thing when I say that, right? Your privates, it has a security level, right? So if you were to put your privates in a security level, it would probably be the most secure, right? Those are your privates. Everything that's private to you should be at a maximum, from 1 to 10 of 10 on the security level, right? So other things should not be treated any differently. Your data is really the biggest problem. So your privates, it could be, it's stolen from you, right? Through pictures. You could just email somebody, that could be taken from you. So everything you have in this world is data. When you're talking in your home, and you have those Alexa microphones on, they're always on, they don't shut off. So that's data. They're recording it. Someone could possibly, it doesn't have to be government, it could just be your next door neighbor. Somebody could be recording that. That's data. Your marriage license, that's data, government, right? There's a lot of data out there, and it's not really treated like your privates, like you should treat your privates. How do you protect yourself from people, trying to take your information, trying to take your private information? There's a lot of ways to protect yourself. A lot of people do not do it, but it's very important that you do. Everyone says that they have nothing to hide until it happens to them, right? So I was single for a very long time, till almost 40 years old, right? I didn't really relate, but now that I have a son, I could relate. Somebody stole my child's pictures or looks through his webcam, right? Now we have a problem, right? So now you are a concerned parent, right? Because now those pictures could be used for abuse. Kids abuse each other these days online. These are very important things. So I want to help you understand how important it is that you protect yourselves, and I want to help you in protecting your privacy. All right. So we have a lot of tools out there, as Fluffy Pony said. You think of cryptocurrency and you think, oh my God, this is for drugs, right? But it's not for drugs. It's to protect yourself. These are tools that you should really learn to use. So the first thing I want to discuss is your identity. All right? So your identity is everything. All right. So when you get into crypto, you'll see that everyone's got funny names, right? Fluffy Pony, right? There's a lot of funny names in crypto because a lot of people are anonymous. They choose to remain so. And there's a lot of good reasons for that when you're making tools to free people. So your identity is the most important thing. And what you need to do is you need to separate that. So you need to separate, your alter ego from your daily worker life. When you do that dirty stuff at night, you want to do that dirty stuff on a complete separate computer that's protected, that has nothing to do with your normal identity in the daytime when you're on your Facebook with your real name. You don't want anything recorded there that you do at night. So you need to separate your identity. That means so always have a second computer, or dual boot your computer. That's possible too. All right, but never use the same computer to do your dirty things that you use to do your work on for work. Right. So separating your identity is the most important thing you could learn. It becomes like a religion, where when I fall into my alter ego, and I want to surf some porno sites, I'm not doing it on my regular identity. I'm doing it on my on my alter ego computer laptop, right? So there's tools out there. So that's the main tool you need to learn, is how to separate your identity, all right? And then from there you start learning how to get an anonymous email, maybe from Tor or from I2P, or Proton's pretty good. You get an anonymous email, you sign up to all the social medias with a different name, and you start your alter ego life in this other computer. All right. You should be using Linux, because Windows, everyone knows, is compromised by default. So I recommend Qubes OS. I come from Pirate Chain. We are working on an operating system that will be pretty dope. I come from Brooklyn. I say all sorts of weird words. So it's going to be called Nitrium. It's an operating system. We already have one that's already created. It's called GoShip. And what happens is, when you turn it on, you just live boot it. You get the USB. You shut down your compromised computer that's full of malware and all sorts of porn pop-ups, right? And you plug it in. You turn it on, and you boot right to that USB. That's it. You're on a whole different computer. All right. So technically you're not, but you are. All right, so it's loaded into the Linux operating system, and then from there you're on your desktop, and there's your wallet right in front of you with Tor active. Right, so it's already by default more protected than your own computer when using that. And you're working over Tor, which I understand a lot of people don't like these days, but it's still an option, because every time you add a security layer to your setup, right? So you got your alter ego setup, and you want to add a security level, say, I'm going to add I2P. Or hell, I'm going to add a second VPN. Right? When you do that, you make it more expensive for agencies, hackers to find you. Because it takes more resources to, decrypt and possibly contact companies for their logs. So it costs them more money to find you. And that's really what you're trying to do. Because there's no such thing as 100% privacy, which is what Fluffy Pony was telling me with the Yanan said earlier. There's no such thing as 100%. So at this point, what you're trying to do is you're trying to make it harder. And the harder you make it, the more expensive it is. So that's, you have to keep that in mind when you're thinking of privacy. So the more protections you have, the better. VPNs, you should always be on a VPN. There's no excuse for it. There's Orbit for your phone. There's Sentinel, which is a crypto, which has a decentralized VPN. It's free. Use it. Use it. Why not? You have, I think Proton VPN is giving out a free VPN now. Mullvad VPN is my favorite. Mullvad VPN is amazing because remember, it's all about information. The amount of information they take from you, the amount of power they have. You're giving them the power to do things to you. And this goes all the way up from government down to your store saying, hey, you haven't been here in a week. Why aren't you shopping? We could tell by your records that you haven't bought sausage in 2 weeks, right? And it's like, how the hell does the supermarket know I haven't been there? But, true story. So everything you give people gives them the power to do something back to you, which is why privacy is freedom. Fighting for privacy is the only thing you should be doing because your children are growing up in this age where every single thing they do is being recorded. From birth all the way to the end of their lifespan, it's going to get even worse with more people grabbing information from you. So VPN is number one on my list and always active. 2 VPNs, even better. I know some developers that have 9 VPNs connected to it's almost impossible. Because if they track one, they have to go to the next VPN and ask them if they save their logs. And most of them say they don't, but they probably do. So they get your logs. Oh my God, we got them? Nope. It's just another VPN right after that one. So in a linear line, you'll see that you're more and more protected the more VPNs you have active. So VPN would be my number one. Let me tell you a story. So about 6-7 years ago, I was on unemployment. And I logged into the unemployment website with VPN active. Right? They cut it off on me. Which means that they thought I was in Australia when I called them. They said, yeah, you're not in the country anymore, and we can't give you your unemployment. I said, what are you talking about? I'm right here in my house. Right? So I explained to them I'm a security expert, and I always have VPN active. And they said, oh, well, do us a favor. Disable your VPN so that when you log into the website, we could record, where you are. So every time you log into any government website, know right away that they're recording exactly where you are. Nobody asked me if they could do that. They didn't say, hey, you think I could record where you are? No, nobody asked me that. Right? So I didn't sign any papers saying they could do that. But the fact of the matter is, that's how powerful VPN is. So if I was able to make a shift into their normal processes with just the VPN active, imagine having more. Right? So VPN is a very good tool, and you should always use it. There's also other ones. If you want to get courageous, you can look into Tor. You can look into I2P. If you want to get even more courageous and you learn Linux, you can learn Qubes OS, which is an amazing operating system.
Does I2P have an out route now, or because I haven't used I2P in like ages?
Repeat the question.
Does I2P have an out route?
Out route, yeah.
They have receive gateways, I think, now that they're expanding on. I do know somebody from I2P who could get to come here and speak directly for I2P. I know the lady in charge. We've been talking with I2P, Pirate and I2P, and there's one similar thing that all these technologies have that I've come to see over time is that the more nodes on these, the more users, the more decentralized these things get. And no matter what technology that is, it's true for all of them. IPFS, the more the better. Tor, the more the better. I2P, the more the better, right? Any coin, cryptocurrency, that has more nodes is more decentralized. So, yeah, it's a good thing I'm Italian. So getting back to that, so I'm not really sure about, in these days. I know I've dabbled with it. I don't use it too often. I'm not doing bad things too often anymore, right? So, but that would be regular practice. Now, there's another version of Pirate OS that's going to come out that we're working on. It's derivative of Qubes. But what we're mainly making it do is that every VM in it will be a utility VM. So you want to trade, you open up that VM, and that VM will have BT DEX on it. And every DEX that is 100% a true DEX and non-custodial will be in that one VM. Right? And then it'll have the protections pertaining to that VM for what you want to do. Then there'll be another one for mining, right? Because mining, you don't want VPN active. It's going to slow your ping times and such, right? So there'll be variables for that VM to run well, right? And so on and so forth. So it'll be a whole utility platform so that you could live boost, boom, you're right on the desktop and you're ready to roll with whatever you want to do, and you're safe because it already has Tor active. We're talking with I2P. We want to get I2P in there active, so that when you boot up, it's already done. Nobody has to figure out how to install it, right? And that's one of the biggest gripes in crypto too. I mean, they're saying that it's easier for GPU miners. It's really not, because have you ever tried mining using the mining software for GPU? It's not that easy. You have to figure out quite a few things. So VPN's good. Tor, your operating system is important for your alter ego. And, you know, I hope that, well, in a couple weeks, we'll be back with a 101. And I'm going to teach you how to protect your privates, not just the power of your privates. You know, your private stuff is your downfall. So when you give all that information out there and you say, I agree to terms and services, and you don't understand the information they're taking from you to make money on you, most likely, or to control you. So it's either one or the other, right? When somebody takes your information, it's one or the other. They're taking money from you, or you're using your information for money, which they're taking it from you, or they're trying to control you, right? They need that information to control you somehow. All right, so the power of your privates is very important. A lot of people don't underestimate the power of their privates, but now you should see that, you know, until it happens to you, you really don't feel it. But one day when you see them encroaching, taking pictures of your kids, or you see random pictures of yourself on the internet as an advertisement, and you go, wait a minute, I didn't get paid for that. Or, where did that come from? You know, that's my wedding picture. Who told them to put it up there, right? So what I'm trying to say is, I really want you guys to really focus on privacy, because privacy is freedom. It's the whole reason why cryptocurrency was invented. Now that you have your computer, your secure computer with your alter ego all set up, so once you have that all set up, you could dive into crypto. You could start learning in crypto, because there's a lot of smart people in crypto, and you don't want to go out in that realm unprotected. You know, especially don't go on Bitcoin Talk and start pressing links all over the place, right? Because you will have a virus, somebody will steal your stuff, and it's even happened to me, and I know what I'm doing. So you're protected, right? So now you have everything you need. Now you can dive into cryptocurrency and get more protection, because now, you know, you can protect your purchases, right? With cryptocurrency, that's what it does. It protects our purchases. You know, I don't want you to know about the sex toy, you know, that I bought last week, because, you know, it's private, right? There's no. I showed him, but he's the only one I showed. So you don't want anybody knowing about that, right? But there are people that know about that. The bank tellers, the people who work for the credit card. Every single person that works for that credit card company that you bought that sex toy with, they're gonna know that you bought it. Most of them probably don't care because they got it themselves, but still, this is private information. So your purchases is how they could control you as well. Once you could learn how to hide your purchases using something like Pirate Coin, Pirate Chain, or Monero. You know, Monero is still very good, even though they've been cipher traced, but you know, to a certain degree of that. It's either the glove fits or the glove doesn't fit, right? So they really haven't been compromised. Until I hear 100% that they can trace everything, I probably won't believe it. But now you could dive into our world of cryptocurrency, and you could send messages anonymously through wallets, more anonymously than Signal. You could, you know that feeling when they're about to freeze your bank accounts? Oh, you guys don't know that feeling. Well, you know, it's my fault, right? I gave them all my money. Hey, take my money. Take it, right? Yeah, put it in the bank. It's so freaking safe. Right? And then, oh yeah, we froze your accounts. It looks like there was some fraud on your debit card. Hey, who told you to do that? Right? I actually bought those fireworks. Right? So you gave them that power. Once again, it's data. You gave it to them, so you got to stop doing these things. I know a lot of it's by you know, gunpoint, unfortunately. You know, a lot of the government stuff. But there's ways to get around that too. So, you know, I like to leave you with the little quote that I love from Edward Snowden. Arguing that you don't care about the right to privacy because you have nothing to hide is no different than saying you don't care about free speech because you have nothing to say. Right? That's Edward Snowden, and I'd like you to think about that and how important it is. And I'm here fighting all the time. Could ask my friends. I'm online fighting all the time because I want my son to live in a world where he's actually free, and and no one's stealing information from him. My name's Andrew Seminary from Pirate Chain, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks with a 101 on how to protect your privacy.
Thanks a lot, man. I wanted to say a couple things about privacy and government using data. There was a long time ago, I lived in Central America for a long time, and I was flying out of Baltimore, and it was the night before my flight, and I was out drinking in the streets with my buddy. And we were out drinking in the streets, and we were being all rammy and loud and whatever, being dickheads. And these cops came along, and they're like, oh, we're gonna write your tickets. And I was like, just fine, how much fucking is it? I'm gonna pay it right now, I'm leaving tomorrow. And they're like, no, you have to come to court. And I'm like, fuck you, I'm not coming to court. I'm leaving the country, I'm gonna be gone for a year or two. And they're like, no, you gotta fucking pay you have to come to court to find out how much it is. I'm like, that 100% is not gonna happen. It will never fucking happen, so stop that. Either don't write the ticket or write me a ticket with fucking value on it. They didn't. They wrote me this thing and they're demanding that I come anyway. So all I did was just bomb the court with emails going, look at my IP address, look at my IP address, look at my San Rafael in Costa Rica, dude, just nonstop. And they hit me with this thing, it's called no prosecui. Just like, we give up, we don't give a shit. And just let me go with it. So that was one of the few times that government having information worked out for the better. Now, one thing about privacy is everybody goes, okay, well, you're trying to buy a sex toy, you're trying to do this creepy thing, or cheating on your wife, or something weird like that. That's not the case. Right now, while the left and right are getting more politically radicalized, there have been instances of people that are using their money in their bank accounts to support certain politicians that don't align with their boss's values and losing their fucking jobs over it. So this is a time where if you could use a privacy coin to donate to your political party, that you'd want to do so. Please don't anybody donate any money to fucking political parties. Another thing is, if you're an airplane pilot and you go to marriage counseling is mental health. You cannot have a mental health issue and be a pilot. Your license gets taken away, you're out of a fucking job because you couldn't pay your marriage counselor with a privacy coin. So there are a lot of reasons why you would want privacy. And to say like, oh, well, those are just two examples, you're grasping at straws. It's no. Privacy is not a human right. Privacy just fucking is. It is the natural state of being. You have custody of your information and you grant it to those that you trust with it. It's not a human right, it just fucking is. It just naturally exists. All right, that's my rant, so, yeah, right? So,
Once you play those political parties with it, once you play the Democrat, and this is my opinion only, but once you play their game, right? You went there, you're like a good citizen, you voted, right? You did good. But you never make any change. Because it's rigged, it's fixed, and it's a system that's completely broken. So
You just gave your data.
it works perfectly well.
Your data, and at the same time, you participated. And I feel that every single time I participate in one of those stupid things, I feel like someone up above goes, "We got it,
Gotta be still in.
we got him, he's still in." Yeah.
2-minute intermission.
Yeah, sure. 2 minutes.